Mike Rossi was elected city councilor for District 6, which includes precincts 10 and 11. He's retired, and for the past 10 years he served on the Keefe Tech School Committee and is chair since 2015. And he's lived in Framingham for over 50 years. So Mike, what is it that made you decide to run for city council?
Well, having been a lifelong Framingham resident and having been involved off and on in various functions of town government, the issue of becoming a city versus a town, very divisive for the town. I was very concerned about once we went to a city, we'd have to pull a lot of people together again. And I felt I was a key individual to get that done.
Now, you mentioned at one point that you had thought about being on the Charter Commission itself.
Yes, I had earlier, I did run for the Charter. My approach was a little different. I wanted to look at options instead of going directly to a city. I looked at, Franklin and how they're a smaller, group of people. Town meeting was not working. 216 people, some districts unrepresented. It's obvious that that wasn't working. So my first inclination was to make a much smaller town meeting. The charter came out with a different version, and I am supporting it, and we are a city now. And for me, I want to bring my experience of my involvement in town government over 30 years to the table.
What about the role you play now as chair of the Keefe Tech School Committee?
Well, actually, technically, I relinquished the chair in June.
All right. But you're still on the committee.
But I'm still on the committee, and I am going to resign, but the process is going to take a little while because Framingham now elects their members. The charter stipulates that the members will be appointed, so that appointment has to be accepted by the regional agreement of all the towns that are part of Keefe. So that process could take a little while.
What's your estimated
maybe
time?
4 to 6 months. Mm-hmm. It has to go through all the town meetings.
So you'll have to serve both until
yes,
then?
but my colleagues on the board understand, and we have a great organization at Keefe, great superintendent, really does a tremendous job. And as you know, I have to promote Keefe because it's a great school, gives students so many options. And what's amazing about it, it's a community resource center because everything happens there. They have Keefe at night. They have a lot of swimming athletic events there. It's an amazing place.
And that's in your district.
Yes, it is.
So tell me about what are some of the assets and maybe some of the concerns about those assets or issues even in your district?
I think we have a tremendous district, 10 and 11, very vibrant, great people, great neighborhoods. Cushing Park is amazing. I'd like to see it continue that manner. As I was going door to door, people tell me that they want this, they want that, they think this, and it's very good. I've documented all that. One of the things that came up, let's put permanent restrooms at Cushing. It makes sense, and I'm going to work with the community to see how that can get done because obviously you need security and you need maintenance and all that. But that's a tremendous asset, and there are no restrooms for people to use. So that's one thing that. The other part that I hear is the traffic. And again, that's throughout Framingham. That's not just District 6. But traffic is a major issue throughout the community. And the charter does create a traffic commission. And I certainly hope the council will be working with that to make that successful. The other things I talked about in my campaign, and I brought my flyer just to understand that I made some issues in here that I wanted to explore if I was successful. And a number of them involved keeping Framingham affordable, looking at the taxes.
I remember you talking about the split tax rate
Yes.
between residential and commercial. What's your,
I think it's definitely, we need to maintain a split tax rate. I wouldn't change that. My concern is that there needs to be, at budget time, we need to look at the budgets very carefully. Obviously, the biggest part of that is the tax assessment. Assessments have to be fair. The thing that's confusing to people is by the time they get their tax bill, they're looking at an assessment that's over 2 years old. And sometimes they can't correlate the two things, you know?
right, housing prices go up
yeah,
and they don't see, and housing
They
values
can't
go up, they
correlate
don't
it because
see
it's
that.
2 years old.
Yes.
So we need to educate people a little more about that. I think the help for seniors, affordability, is very important. And yes, Framingham has a couple of measures to help seniors out. Thresholds, eligibility, you can work some process of it.
Right.
But I think that hasn't been looked at in such a long time, and I really want to revisit that.
Okay.
I want to look at the thresholds. It's important for us to help seniors be able to stay in their homes.
Any personal issue that you can, is just you're passionate about personally, your own issue that you'd like to be able to address?
I think I just feel like I'm very concerned about the way there seems to be budget accountability. I don't see that. I want to see a better correlation between the school budget and the town budget.
Okay.
As you know, as a town meeting member, used to be always a battle over, who was going to fund. Is the municipal side versus the school side going to get the funding at town meeting? As you may recall, as a selectman, we worked out a memorandum of understanding
Right, with the split.
schools.
The
to
divide
say-
between-
To divide, to make a balance, so you didn't have that fight all the time. So I think we want to continue to work that issue. Remember, to have great schools, you don't have to raise taxes. You have to make sure that you allocate your budget accordingly.
Okay. And how will you, as a council, individually and as a council as a whole, how do you think that relationship will be with the mayor?
Well, I think it will be very good. I'm looking forward to working with the mayor. I think it's
Structurally, do you like the way it's set up?
I think it's a great challenge. Obviously, the mayor has the power, and that's the way it should be. There's accountability, there's focus, and I think that the council is, as it represents the district, so there's neighborhood and there's at large. So there's a total immersion of independence among the council. And I think working with the mayor is, as the mayor presents the budget, analyzing the budget, working together is going to make this a win-win situation.
Good. Okay. Well, Mike Rossi is the District 6 City Councilor. If you live in Precinct 10 or 11 and vote at Keefe Tech, then you are in District 6 and he is your District City Councilor. For more information on Mike and all the city councilors, go to FraminghamElectionInfo.org, and there's also a site on the town website now for the City Council. We'll be right back.